Paul Sade, Sade.
Coach, talk about last year and what lessons you want to go into 2021.
We were pretty young last year. Obviously, everybody, had the same issues to deal with in terms of a shortened summer and not knowing day to day who was going to be at practice or who was going to get quarantined. But we were a young team, and so our kids handled that relatively well, we thought, and we didn't have a very good season. We were 500 with 2 games we didn't get to play, and it's not really good enough. We didn't play well enough to win, but the good news is most of those kids that were integral parts of that team and that we leaned on pretty heavily, a lot of those kids are back now as seniors and even still a couple of juniors. So we feel like if there's a silver lining from a 4-4 season, it's that most of those kids are back, and we've now had an entire summer together and an off season together to work on what we need to work on to get better. And so far we've had a pretty good summer.
Specifically on the field, what are you guys going to have to do game in and game out just to get above 500?
Well, we weren't very consistent offensively last year at all, and I think our defense played solid. I don't think that we couldn't ask a whole lot more out of them. They were put in some really bad positions. We didn't move the ball. We turned the ball over way too much. We were very inconsistent up front. If we don't improve on those things, then we won't be any better than a 4-win team, if that, like we were last year. So right now the timing in our offensive backfield is not good enough to win football games. Our offensive line's not playing well enough to win football games, but I feel like we've developed nicely from where we were a year ago, and if we continue to improve, then we will have a chance to compete in most of the games and all of the games we play this year.
Coach, you talked a little bit about how you had such a young team going in. Who are some people who not many people are talking about that are going to do really well going into this year?
Well, I think we've got guys like Cameron Rinker, who started last year, and he's here today, and he had a really good spring. Ran track, hurdling first time ever, and his speed has improved dramatically. So we're looking forward really to seeing where he fits in. Caleb Oliver's another guy that nobody's really talking about. Played a lot of defensive line for us, looking for him to be the anchor of our offensive line this year as well at the center spot. And only a junior, played significant time as a sophomore, but not a big name guy, but somebody that we feel like he's somebody that we're going to lean pretty heavily on.
Talk about your senior class. I mean, last year was the oddest year for everyone. Just what's the impact that the senior class is going to have on Busco football?
I think it remains to be seen, but they're one of the best groups that we've had. There's not a lot of them, but in terms of their attitude and their work ethic, it's good as it's ever been, and maybe better than most in terms of their commitment to the weight room, their commitment to working multi-sport attitude. In a small school, we have to share athletes, and those guys are committed to getting better year-round in everything they do. And ultimately, they lead by example, probably more than they are vocal, and that is good and bad. I'd like to see a few more of them step up. Ethan Hilly's been great this summer of being a vocal leader, but it's not everybody's comfort zone. But the way they carry themselves, the work that they put in, it's evident to younger kids that that's the standard that you have to meet to be able to play at a high level, and couldn't ask for more from them than what they've given so far.
Before your team runs out of the black smoke like they always do, what's the message you're going to say day one to them?
Well, we have to be better. And I know that sounds stupid, but we did not play at a Busco standard last year, and that's on me. That's not the kids' fault. That's just the way it is. We can draw any play up, we can draw any defensive scheme up, but if we don't play at a high level, if we don't execute at a high level, it won't matter. We're not going to have 50 kids on our roster. We might have 35. And of those 35 kids, who's going to be able to step up on a Friday night and play at the level that we need to be able to compete for championships against teams like Eastside, against teams like AC in the sectional? We're not there yet. And if we're going to ever get back to where that's a realistic possibility, we have to play better in all facets. The little things are the most important, and those are the things we've been focusing on this summer so far.
Anything else you'd like to say, Coach?
No, sir.
All right, thanks so much.
Hey, thanks.
All right, so just look at me, ignore the camera. Start off by saying and spelling your first, last name, your position, and your grade.
I am Riley Buroff, Rileyburoff. I am a junior and I'm a quarterback.
All right, so what are the lessons that you can remember from this past year that you're going to take into 2021?
It's just you can't rely on most people. You have to do it yourself. You're going to have to step up with all the other people that you have, because we don't have much. And so you're going to have to deal with it and just have fun with it.
Coach talked about the group last year having a lot of people stepping up in roles that they weren't used to stepping up. As going into it as your junior year, what is something that you're going to have to do stepping up, and what's something the team's going to have to do step up?
I'm going to keep the team controlled. I mean, last year if something bad happened, we all got down, so we're all going to stay calm, and I'm going to do a better job at keeping it better.
Coach hit on being a better team. What specifically on the field can you guys do to be a better team?
I mean, we just have to work hard every day. We get up very early to work hard, and we have to do it on the field every day after that.
What's going to be a successful year for you going into the season?
Just win the most games that we can possibly win. I mean, we don't want to lose. That's our main goal, and we just want to win.
Anything else you'd like to say?
That'll be all.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.